Hi everyone, Tom Moffett here. Welcome to BUS 115 Personal Finance. During the next 8 weeks, we're going to be talking about some fundamental concepts and components of managing your personal finances. For example, we'll be talking about creating a personal balance sheet and a cash flow statement. I will be covering budgeting and taxes, credit, insurance, investing, and some areas of estate planning. You will complete a personal finance plan, which will help you put these topics into practice. Now, when you log into the course, the first thing you're going to see is the home page, which you see here, and I encourage you to take some time to explore each of these menu items over here on the left side, especially if this is your first online class. Pay special attention to announcements here, modules here, and the discussions navigation link. I make lots of announcements, so please check the announcements on a regular basis, at least 3 to 4 times per week. You can get to announcements more than one way. By clicking on one way is by clicking on the course announcements link right here. That'll take you to announcements. The other way is to click on the navigation link on the left side here, announcements. That'll take you there also. And you'll be able to see any announcements that have been posted. So now let's take a look at the modules page. So you click on the navigation link modules. At the very top of the modules page, you'll see the course calendar. So when you open that link, it will load the course calendar. And you can see the course calendar here. There's also a link up at the top, a PDF file, that if you'd like to print a hard copy for your reference, you certainly can do that. The way the course calendar is laid out is on the left side, you'll see modules, and there's 8 modules. So in module 1, you'll have the assignments here. In the middle column, the due dates for the assignments. I should mention that any discussion, like the introduction discussion, right here, and then in module 2, the critical thinking discussion. There's 2 dates associated with discussions. The first date is the due date for the initial post, and then the second date is the due date for replies to classmates, and at least 2 replies to classmates are required for each of the discussions. You'll also see the due dates for any of the other assignments. For example, here's some Connect assignments that are due on the 30th of the month. Here's a couple of quizzes for Chapter 1, Chapter 2. And then here's your personal financial plan, Step 1. That's due on the 30th also. Over here on the right column are the points associated with each of the assignments. So for example, the introduction discussion is 20 points. The quiz is 10 points. And the personal financial plan is 40 points. And each of the modules in the calendar are laid out essentially the same way. We'll also have a midterm exam. You'll see it down here, the dates that it'll be available. And then we have a proctored event, which I'll talk more about later. That's highlighted in yellow. And here's your final exam and the availability dates for that. Let's go back to the modules page. And let's take a look at the discussion rubric here. This tells you how the discussions are graded. Underneath this, you'll see Connect Access, and you will need access to Connect. And then the overview and registering for Connect, what Connect means to you, Connect support if you need support for Connect. If you're having technical issues, you open this link. It will give you a link to support and also a phone number that you can call. A little further down after that, you see proctoring. If you're not familiar with each course is one event is a required proctoring event. So if you're not familiar with proctoring requirements, you can look through these and it gives you information about proctoring, uh, especially how to use ProctorU if you want to do that, or if you want to do off-campus proctoring, you can do that as well. There's a couple of examples there. So you'll read through those. Underneath proctoring requirements is a personal financial plan. And if you open that link for personal financial plan, you'll see the 6 steps of the personal financial plan. Now, as we get to those steps, I'll have much more to say about the specifics of each of those steps. Okay, let's go down and take a look at Module 1. All of the modules are laid out essentially the same way. You start out with an overview. For example, in Module 1, there's 2 chapters, and since we're an accelerated program, we do 2 chapters a week. So here's an overview on Chapter 1 and an overview on Chapter 2. So that's in the overview, tells you a little bit about what each of those chapters are about. Here's some reading assignments. Whoop. Introduction discussion, that's the first one. Here's some things that you'll want to include in the introduction discussion. And then the reading assignments will tell you read Chapter 1, Chapter 2. And then here are each of the assignments. Chapter 1, connect assignment. Chapter 2, connect assignment. Chapter 1, connect quiz. Chapter 2, connect quiz. And then more information about completing step 1 of the personal financial plan. And each of the modules were laid out essentially that way. Underneath the assignments is additional materials. These are here for your benefit if you'd like to find out more about each of the topics that we're covering. I would encourage you to especially look at the narrated PowerPoints. They're very helpful when you're completing your personal financial plan steps. So there's some other information there. Here's a narrated PowerPoint for Chapter 2. As you go further down, here's some videos about future value and annuities, future value single amounts. These are all additional information that you can learn more about the specific topic for the week. When you get into Module 2, you see the same thing. The overview, reading assignments, critical thinking discussion, taxes, financial services plans, and here's the quizzes, and here you have the step 2 of the personal financial plan. I want to call your attention also here, scroll back up to the grades area. Each of the assignments will be listed over here on the left-hand side and the due dates. And once you post an assignment, it will be posted in here. You can see it in here. And once I review your assignments and give you feedback, then you can click on the link that's available to you then. And you will get a feedback on every assignment that you submit, except, of course, for the Connect assignments, which are auto-graded, and the quizzes, which are also auto-graded. You'll also be able to see the points that are applied for each of those assignments. They're listed here, except again for the Connect assignments. But you'll be able to see how many points have been applied once you complete the Connect assignments and the Connect quizzes. You should also know that you can complete Connect assignments and Connect quizzes as often as you like up until the due date. So for example, for a Connect assignment, if you got less than 20 points and you want to go back and redo that assignment to get the full 20 points that are available, you can do that. And the same is true for quizzes. If you don't get the full 10 points for the quiz, you're welcome to go back and repeat the quiz as many times as you like up until the point where you get the 10 points. which is the maximum you can get for the Connect quizzes. There's 2 exams for the semester. Let's go back to modules. One is the midterm, all the way down here. All right, underneath Module 4, here's the midterm, and when it becomes available, you'll have access to that, the midterm exam. And then at the end of the course, of course, is the comprehensive final. There's Module 8, and here's the final exam. I also make available to you online office hours. Here's some other resources for you also. Zoom on Zoom. So if you would like to meet with me real time using Zoom, the video conferencing tool, then that will be available to you on request. Just let me know and we'll arrange a time when we can get together using Zoom. It's a great tool and very helpful. Uh, I can share files with you. You can share files with me. We can talk real time, and it's a very useful tool. I'm sure most of you have probably used that before, but if you haven't, it's very easy to use. Okay. I should also mention, I kind of skipped right over that. Go back up to the top here. Uh, Here is a link to the syllabus, and in that link you'll see also each of the assignments. You'll see due dates over here, times, due dates on the left side. Here's the due dates, and of course all the assignments are due by the end of the day on usually Sunday. They'll vary a little bit, but especially around holidays, around Thanksgiving. So if you want to take a quick look at when these things are due, you can see it there. The other thing I'd like to draw your attention to is in discussions. At the very top is a discussion forum called Student Commons. And if you have questions about the course, I would encourage you to post your questions here by clicking on this reply button. And then you can post your question. Then I'm notified that there's a post in Student Commons, and I can get back to you with a response. Now, there's a couple of other reasons for using Student Commons for questions about the course. One is, in case I can't get to you very quickly, sometimes it might take a little while, then any of your classmates that would have an answer to your question might be able to respond more quickly. So that's an advantage. The other advantage is that if your classmates have a similar question that you have, then they can take advantage of your question and the response to that question. So it helps them as well. If you have questions of a personal nature, such as grades, please contact me via OTC email. That's moffittc@otc.edu. And please use your OTC email address for any contact or getting any messages that you might send to me. The reason being the filters are set up so that OTC email is often the only messages that get through. You send me a message using another email program, then I may not get that message. Well, I look forward to meeting all of you next week, and I will see you online.